I'm Dr. David Hill, and today we're going to talk about the ingredients that are found in commercial infant formulas. Now, obviously, breast milk is the best food for a human baby by far and away. There are advantages in terms of immune function, brain development, and growth that human breast milk offers that nothing else can match. However, not everyone can breastfeed their baby for a whole variety of reasons. Some people have to go back to work, they've had surgery, they're taking medications, so many mothers do need to fall back on infant formula. The good news is commercially available infant formulas are absolutely fine nutrition for babies. Your baby is going to grow up plenty strong, plenty healthy on these formulas. When we're thinking about formula ingredients, we divide it by the three types of nutrients that are in there. The first we think about is the protein source, and this is probably the biggest difference between formulas. The protein most commonly comes from cow's milk, and cow's milk has two different kinds of protein in it, casein and whey. When they make the infant formula, they separate out the cow's milk, casein and whey, to try and get a ratio that's closer to the casein and whey in human milk. However, it's not exactly the same. Now, casein and whey can cause allergic reactions, so those proteins can be broken down into smaller bits called hydrolyzed proteins, and you'll see those in some specialty formulas like Alimentum and Nutramigen. Soy is another source of protein, and some people think that soy formulas are better for colic or reflux. The data doesn't really support that. There's not a lot of reason at this point to choose a soy formula over a milk protein or hydrolyzed formula. We also think about the carbohydrate source in the formula. In human milk, it's always lactose. Cows secrete lactose as well, but many cow's milk formulas use additional sugars on top of the lactose. Soy formula does not use lactose at all, but uses other sugars, including corn syrup in some cases, or in other cases, sucrose. Some people think that their babies are intolerant of lactose. However, unless your baby has had a recent diarrheal illness, that's almost certainly not the case. Infant lactose intolerance is not unheard of, but it probably occurs in less than 1 in 10,000 infants. And so I wouldn't be changing formula based on the lactose content. The last thing we think about is the fats in the formula. Human milk comes with two important long-chain fats, which we call ARA and DHA, arachidonic acid and docosahexaenoic acid. Those are important for brain development, but don't worry if your formula doesn't have ARA and DHA, because all infant formulas have linoleic acid or alpha-linolenic acid, which are precursors of those molecules, and as long as you have a healthy term infant, his body should be able to make those fats fine on its own. Last, you'll notice that formulas have all sorts of other minerals, calcium, phosphorus, vitamins in them, and all of those should be regulated by the FDA to levels that are needed for adequate growth and nutrition, as long as you have a healthy term infant. One caveat: if you have a premature infant or an infant with a special metabolic condition, please work closely with your doctor to make sure that you've chosen an appropriate formula, because not every formula may be right for that baby. Talking about the contents and materials used to make commercial baby formulas, I am Dr. David Hill.